good evening. Welcome to the show. It's Fulltyne. With me, Barry, and a couple of guests too. We better bring them in because someone's just really dropped me in it here.
Leave me out.
Well, okay. So Barry's just nodded off for a minute. Talking about today's game, which of course has been a bit of a disappointment for us, more by the aims of officials rather than play. We've got with this. What's going on here? I'm not even doing anything. Subscribe to the channel, please. Yeah.
Right, the band's gone. The band's
What's
gone.
going with it?
The band was screaming, so I said in the private chat, "Start the show. You'll be live, mate."
Oh, I didn't see it.
You were too busy texting Gemma. That's why. So don't.
No, I'm trying to advertise.
Yeah.
What's
right.
on Twitter now? Go on.
All right, okay. So please, everyone, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy what you see. Hit the bell button so you know when we're on. Hit the thumbs up button to help the show grow. Please consider becoming a member. And don't forget Sports Trader, that Ian down in the bottom, Sooty, as he's calling himself on his phone. It's probably what the missus calls him in bed as well. So it's a great charity. We are trying to raise money for it. We've done the Alan Shearer shirt raffle. I'm still waiting for the money to come from that because I've got to wait till I send the shirt. The guy receives it and then he says he's received it before the funds are released. I don't even know how much it is yet because the website takes money off you as well. So I'm waiting to work all that out. So that was the shirt that was given away. So congratulations to the winner. Please check out shirts_foot. Great retro shirts if you want to get involved in that. And the next giveaway will be in about 3 weeks' time. So I've struck a deal with John Sinclair to buy a season ticket off him for one game against Wolves. And we're going to give it away to one lucky paying member. So if you are paying 99p a month, that one, you have a chance of winning a ticket to the Wolves game on the Friday night on the 8th of April. So please join in with that. So like I said, Billy co-host, we've got Ian down in the bottom, who's part of the sponsor, and we've got John making popping his cherry on the channel. And is this your first time ever live on a show?
It is, yeah.
Hey, it's full cherry. Full cherry is getting bursted tonight. We'll have a quick look in the chat, see what's going on. Evening, Ronald. Thanks for joining us. Great performance from the lads today, but what an absolute joke VAR is. I've never seen some dodgy decisions, but that was nailed on penalty from any angle. The ref was even called to take a look. Wasn't even called to take a look. Evening, Baz. Evening, Truls. Evening, all. Evening, feeling positive. I don't know why, but okay. What the fuck, should have a penalty and that scored. Player sent off. I don't know if the player should. Oh, yeah, the elbow. We're going to come to it all. Don't you worry. Evening panel. What an effing joke VAR is. Yes, it is. I don't know why we bother with it. Baz, your webcam looks a funny colour. I think it looks all right tonight. I look a bit orange, but it's better than normal. How the hell is VAR not spotted the pen hit? It should have been sent packing for his challenge on Burn. I agree. 5 foot something going in for a header against 6'7". There's only one winner. Yep. Very disappointed for a fantastic team. Fought tooth and nail for the match. Maxi was a disappointment. VAR a joke. I think we'll hammer Everton. I felt a bit sorry for Maxi. We'll come to that as well. We didn't lose to Chelsea today. We lost to the officials, which is pretty much bang on. So this is obviously what we're discussing. Fulltyne, it was a 1-0 win for Chelsea. Let's deep dive into it, though, and look at the starting lineup. So Chelsea have obviously sacked their artists and their graphics designers and all that sort of stuff, because that even I do better than that. Yeah, they got no money left. So someone's just put the team sheet together like that, probably took a photograph, slapped it on Twitter, and that's what they came up with. Obviously, ours was a lot better, but I've lost it for some strange reason. Oh, I've deleted it by mistake. Damn it. But there was a lot of changes in our team, a lot of unexpected ones. There it is. So Miggy obviously starting. We lost the three in midfield that have been key to our success, really, since Howe's come in. There was obviously Shelby missing, Joe Linton missing, and Willock missing. They're huge. We went to a back five. Very clever tactics, though, which we'll come on to very, very soon. But when we saw the team sheet, guys, what were your thoughts? Billy, what was your thoughts to start with?
My first thought was he's sacrificing this game for the Everton game. He's going to try and soak up as much as possible, perhaps hit them on the break, fight our battles where we need to fight them, not high up the pitch. And in actual fact, what I was thinking was the exact opposite to what happened.
Yeah. What about you, John?
Exactly the same. I think he set out for a point, with the Everton game being the big one. So I expected 5 at the back, to be fair. I think I said it to you, Baz. I expected it to be 5 at the back. Didn't expect Sean Longstaff coming in, Miggy coming in. I think he put a few more changes in, again, Everton in mind. I think we'll have a complete different team against Everton. I can see 6 changes for Everton.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Ian, what about you?
I thought, shit. That was my first thought, to be honest. Then as I looked at it and I realised that I thought it's probably the best thing to do with regards to obviously the cluster, of games coming up. So I thought, it's just one of them games where you've got to sacrifice it, I guess. But I completely shocked by the fact the tactics worked, in my opinion.
The tactics were brilliant. I'm going to come on to them very, very soon. But there's another great one. Fulltyne, VAR 1, Newcastle 0. So that's what we're going to start talking about. So we lined up as a 5-4-1 potentially. But I kind of said on the commentary to start with, I don't think it'll be a 5-4-1. And it turned out it wasn't, because a lot of the times it was a 4-3-3, just how we used to play. But it only went to a 4-3-3 when Chelsea had the ball from kickoffs. And you notice that high press was so high because we knew Chelsea were going to play out from the box. So he switched the formation every time they had the ball high up in their box. And the pressing from Miggy was excellent. He ran his socks off today. I know his quality on the ball wasn't as great as what Fraser's might have been or Maxey's might have been, but his work rate for the team won us a lot of the ball high up. And then Sean Longstaff was joining in with the press as well. The whole team were just absolutely fantastic. And it did switch around from a 5-4-1 to a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1 at times as well. They were just, it was a masterclass from Howe. The only, and I'll come to it now rather than later on, the only thing I was disappointed with Howe was his substitutions. He should have made the last 2 with 10 minutes to go. You could see we were leggy. You could see we were being pressed. We were struggling. And he waited until the 90th minute when we went 1-0 down to make his last 2 substitutions. That is the only little nitpicking I can put on Eddie Howe was that. Do you agree, Ian?
I don't think he would have made those substitutions if he wasn't sort of forced into them, to be honest. I think he might have made one of them, but I just I couldn't have seen Dwight Gale coming on unless it was like chuck everything on, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in my opinion. But yeah, to be honest, I don't think he did anything wrong. I just think we switched off. That's my honest opinion. I just think we switched off for that one time. But it's the only time in the game that we did. Like we were fucking brilliant. Like, and the defense I thought was class today. Like, and there's a couple of mistakes, but we'll go on to them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we definitely will. But do you not think that mistakes might have been eradicated had we had fresher legs in midfield for the last 10 minutes potentially? That was the only thing I would say about making the change. Yes, Dwight Gale probably wouldn't have happened up front. Definitely not.
Yeah.
But maybe if Fraser wasn't fit enough, was he just on the bench because he was making up numbers? Because I would have had him on in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would have had Fraser on definitely earlier, but I'm presuming he wasn't really fit to come on.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you put Fraser on? Like,
Yeah. Just for the last 10 minutes. I just thought we need to fresher legs just to try and help that press, because that press was getting less and less and less as the second half went on. And I think that's where we lost
the press was at, in my, like, I think the press was actually as good as I've seen us press. Like,
without a doubt.
Like, it was brilliant.
Liverpool pressing, I thought.
Yeah. We were all over them like a fucking rash. They didn't, pardon my language, sorry, before the watershed, haven't we? But we didn't give them room to breathe. I thought it was excellent. Yeah. So
I agree. Billy, do you agree?
I don't disagree with you, but
you don't agree. But you don't disagree. You're on the fence.
Yeah, on that one.
It gets sore with splinters on that fence. I'm telling you, I've been on that enough.
I'll not be on the fence for long.
Billy, what did you make of the substitutions? Because I thought, again, just one more 10 minutes to go might have helped us get through that game, potentially.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't think I'd have took Murphy off, though, for St. Maximin. Because once you get St. Maximin on, the press is going to go down anyway.
Yeah.
With him on the pitch, the press is going to be less. It's just the way he is. He doesn't track back as much. He's not interested in the hard yards. So that the press started actually becoming less when he came on the pitch. Not criticising him, because I did feel sorry for him. He didn't get much service. He didn't get the ball in the areas he wanted to get the ball in. The other substitution I would have made, actually, when we went 1 down, I didn't see the point in taking Mankier off, but I took the third centre half off and not the full back.
4-4-2 or something like that.
And brought Gale on for him. But yeah, apart from that, I'd have brought Fraser on a little bit earlier himself, to be honest.
Yeah. Just 10 minutes to hit that press.
We had no one else to come on there, did we? Maybe could have brought Matt Ritchie on as a nuisance value, but all in all, I think he did as well as he could. But just that goal, when it came, I just felt it was an absolute killer, and nothing else he could have done.
No. John, what are your thoughts on Eddie Howe's performance tactically? Because it was almost perfect.
Well, tactically, he got it spot on. Like you say, I think Shah played a role we've not seen in probably 20, 25 years, like that sweeper role where from defence playing out. I say we haven't seen that for. I think Chelsea did it a little bit with Makelele, but other than that, we haven't seen it for a long, long time. With the substitutes, I think he wouldn't have put any on if we hadn't conceded. I don't think he wanted to put Fraser on at all. The fact we went 1-0 down is he chucked everything at it. I think if we'd have gone 1-0 down after 80 minutes, he'd have done the same substitutes, and we would have had them for 10 minutes. But it's just unfortunate. It was literally the last minute.
Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
With regards to
without the swearing or with the swearing,
with regards to Longstaff and even Bruno, because Bruno was gassed.
They were both brilliantly well.
We had no option. We had no options on the bench in midfield.
No. It was just Fraser would have been the one I would have made earlier, just because he could have carried on that high press, running around like a dog, potentially stopping a ball that was so deep over the top into our box the way that it was. And Rudiger did that quite a few times in the second half. He got the ball and he played some lovely balls on the outside of his foot, but they should be stopped if you're having that high press. So that was my only criticism, but I thought he was excellent. He knows how to play against Chelsea. He's done it with Bournemouth. You know, he's worked under Tuchel. He's gone away and spoke to him, and he knows sort of like what he does. So he knew how to combat today. I just felt sorry for him, because I felt sorry for the whole team, the way that it ended. But we're going to talk about the first half first of all, because, I mean, when I looked at the stats, I couldn't believe it. Yes, Chelsea had all of the ball, but they had no shots on target at all. We had the one effort on target, which was Miggy's volley. Came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that, by the way. But I always said we could win this game or draw this game if we get quality into the box. And Shaw had a great game at centre-back, but his distribution from free kicks in the first half was shocking. There's many times he put the ball to the back post and it just went straight through to the keeper or went out for a goal kick. And they're the margins when you're at Stamford Bridge or at Old Trafford or at those kind of places. You need to get them right. And it wasn't until Target in the second half, which we'll come to, when he was taking free kicks, you could see the quality difference. But what an effort from Miggy, though, Ian. It was an absolute superb volley. Came again from a dangerous free kick. And I said, these are the chances. And when the ball was whipped in, came to the edge of the box and he smashed it. It was so unfortunate. It wasn't a half a yard to the other side of the keeper or further away from him. He might have scored, mightn't he?
It's a great connection. I thought he hits it well, but it's one of them, innit, where it could have took a little deflection or, like you say, just like a couple of yards either way, and it was a goal. It took me by surprise because it just went up, and I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, there's no chance here when he was coming down. Yeah, it's a great shot. Did Murphy not have one before him though? Murphy had one before him, didn't he? I think later.
No, I'm not talking about that left-footed shot where he was right on the angle. That's not even a chance. That was he was trying to do a Papa Cisse. There was no
I
way
thought
he
you would have
was
been all
scoring
over
from
that one, mate.
No, he was never scoring from that angle. I'm not even calling that even half a chance. When he looked up,
He missed 2 sets of goals with that one, like.
yeah. But when he looked up, there was no one in the box, so I felt a bit sorry for him.
There was actually someone loitering just outside the box, but obviously with him running at like the pace he was running, there's no way he could have, like, I don't think anyway, got it back to him. But yeah,
he was never finding him. What about you, John? What did you make of the Miggy volley and just the whole that they were the situations in the game where you thought, oh, we could just threaten?
Well, I expected the other way around, so Miggy to go way over and Shaw to be on target, but it was it was Miggy's shot that actually went on target. I don't know, I can't remember the last time he had one that went on target. So yeah, it was a big surprise from Miggy, but unlucky.
Southampton, when we beat them with 9 men and he scored. Probably the only. I think that was the last time he scored. I think it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
But Mendy's, for me, is the best keeper in the Premier League. So
yeah, he's brilliant.
It was going to take some beating.
It was a good height for him, luckily, and it was close enough to him. He still had to pull off a great save. Don't get me wrong, but if it was just a half a yard or another yard to the side of him, I think he might have been struggling to keep that out with the power.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, what did you make of it?
Like
deflection. Yeah, if it took a deflection, it might have wrong-footed him or something. But unfortunately, it was just too sweet, wasn't it, Billy?
The technique of it was just phenomenal. Keep it down, to get it on target from there. It was a phenomenal effort. Like you say, it was just. I mean, Mendy wasn't sighted, but he didn't have to move too far to get to it.
Yeah,
I think it's more luck than judgment that he actually did get to it because he couldn't see it.
I think his positional was from the fact that it was a free kick to the front post, wasn't it? So he was standing near post anyway. So he's lucky in that respect because if the ball went to the back post and then came out to him, he might have been struggling to get across to save it. So it's just those fractions, isn't it? You know, those small little details that win your football games. The other talking point in the first half, we've got to discuss it because I was absolutely appalled that it wasn't a red card. Hertzer jumping into Dan Burn with his elbows up, and I mean the point of his elbow right into the side of his temple. The referee deemed it as clumsy, the VAR referee, clumsy but not intentional. And then you go to the guys in the studio, one of them says it wasn't a red, and then the other ones argue with Micah Richards and say it definitely was a red because he knew what he was doing. Now, if you're jumping against someone who's 7'6", probably 7 foot in the air because he jumped himself, and you're that small and you're going up like that and keeping your elbow that high, because if you jump with your arms, but your arms start to come down when you get to the peak of the
He
ball,
did it on purpose.
Of course he did. And
No
it was
doubt.
a pure elbow right into the side of the temple. You saw the swelling on the side of his head, the blood coming out of it. I was foaming, absolutely foaming. That wasn't a red card. How VAR didn't overturn it. I mean, even the referee had a good sight of it, so he should have known that was a red card.
Couldn't have fucking missed it. He was about 7 foot in the air, wasn't he?
Exactly. But it's the whole fact he was like that, you know. And like I say, when you're jumping, you jump with leverage, but your arms start to come down when you get to the peak of your point if you height, because you start to come down to do your landing, don't you? And you have to have your arms out to land comfortably. And he just kept his elbow right up there and went straight into the side of his head. Dan Burn was foaming, you could tell.
He was lucky Dan Burn couldn't get up at that point because he would have ripped his head off, I think.
I think he would have, and I hope he did in the
tunnel after the
game.
Yeah,
definitely. Billy, what did you?
I think the only way he could have made that any worse was rather than his pointy elbow with his pointy bloody nose.
Yeah,
yeah, it was filthy that, like.
It was absolutely filthy.
And VAR's just not fit for purpose. It's either, sorry for jumping in, but this is the main reason I wanted to come on. But obviously, I'm not going to say the C word, but like,
stay away from that one. Any other one, but the C word.
But yeah, what a bunch of C words. That point completely pointless on VAR when the officials like I don't know whether I'm going over the top here, but it does seem that there's an agenda where how that is not given when it's looked at is ridiculous. If ever there's a clear red card, it was that. He led with his elbow and, he did it on purpose. He's smashed him in the face. He should have been off. And that changes the game because we could have, I'm not going to go into the second half because I know we'll get to that, but that happens. We bring on, Max and he'll run them ragged, when they're down to 10 men. So that changed the game completely. And not only that, there's just a reaction to the players, and like the bunch of shithouses, the Chelsea players, in my opinion. Like so, but yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with that. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely fine. Billy, what about you?
It's simple. It's straightforward, simple. When you endanger the safety of an opponent, it's a red card all day long. Yeah. And it spoke volumes that the only Chelsea representative on the panel of Sky Sports, Hasselbank, said, you know where the player is. You don't have to look. You know where he is. Yeah, you can sense him. He knew what he was doing. The referee should have straight away pulled the red card out, sent the bloke off. Because if Dan Burn had been properly injured, head injury, we'd been penalised for him doing that, and he'd have walked off with the yellow card.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely pathetic that the referee couldn't red card it, and then to have the other set of eyes look at it and get to the same opinion. Absolute bollocks. It's a red card all day long. All day long.
Yeah, it really is. John, what about you?
Well, it was funny. Havertz said after the game he thought he was 8 foot tall, didn't he? Dan Burn. So to get up 8 foot and then an elbow him takes some doing. I think the issue is with VAR again. Referee's given a yellow card. That's his decision, but it's down to the VAR to say have a look, closer look.
Do you not think it's bizarre though that they put the worst referee in living memory, Mike Riley, in charge of the fucking referees?
Yeah,
and is it a wonder that our referees are fucking shit? Pardon my language, Barry. Sorry, carry on.
It's a lot different. I think next season we're going to see some massive changes with VAR and the ruling and how it goes, because it's a grey area in the fact that they aren't allowed to overturn, or they can only recommend overturning.
I mean, if he's not got a good view of it, which he did have,
So
actually, the VAR man could have said some. Well, I think just having a look at it, and if still think it's a bad point, but have a look.
Similar to the Brentford.
It's not like they're
actually. If gone to the monitor and seen it, I think he probably would have given a red card. In all fairness, because it was a lot worse second time round, and in real time you can't. You can see the elbow, but you can see him looking at the ball. I mean, you're going to give a yellow card rather than a red. But VAR should have said, look at the monitor.
Well, like Barry says, once you get to the peak of your jump, your arms are coming down anyway. But he kept his in the air all the way along until he made contact.
Yeah.
Absolute disgraceful challenge and a red card all day long.
And if you watch the Leicester-Arsenal game, the penalty that was given for Arsenal, when the ball flicked Sunshine's fingers, and it only changed the direction of the ball a tiny little bit, it makes you wonder. And the referee went to the monitor to have a look at it, and then he ended up giving the penalty. Why was our referee in our game?
I'll tell you what annoyed me more. Jacob Murphy made a tackle later on in the half.
Yeah, he got yellow card for it.
I was booked for it after playing the ball.
Yeah.
So he got the equivalent punishment for actually playing the ball, not a foul, to what that bastard did for elbowing Burn in the head.
Yeah. And then there was Target as well, got given a free kick against him when he won the ball in the corner as well, remember?
That was the fucking best tackle of the match.
It was,
yeah. It was,
Ridiculous.
It was just an absolute nightmare. But again, I mean, we went into half-time, 0-0. We were thinking, Jesus, if we can just keep this up, get a few more dangerous, situations with corners, with crosses, get them into the box, we've got a chance of winning this game. And the penalty decision, I mean, we've got to come to that because obviously it's the next big decision, isn't it? So I have been informed of who was in the VAR box. It was Stevie Wonder. So this is the reason why we didn't get anything all day. Stevie Wonder decided to be having a look at all these decisions. But how can you give the Target one as a free kick when he got the ball in the corner? You then only give a yellow card for an elbow. And then when Murphy gets in front of his defender inside the box, and he had 2 digs at him, not one, he had 2. And he didn't get the ball, the defender. Exactly. You give a corner. So that means the referee's made a clear and obvious error because the defender didn't touch the ball. So that means you've got one decision to make. It's either a goal kick or it's a penalty. Now, the VAR again, nobody came out and said on Sky, what the actual VAR give the decision for as a corner, because surely you overrule the decision of a corner and give a goal kick, don't you?
Yeah.
Because it was the wrong decision in the first
But
place.
once they do that, then they've got to get a penalty, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, this is what I mean.
But you know what? You know the problem with what you're saying, Baz, is that you have to have logic and not be bent as a £9 note to actually do that.
The issue is that the ref hasn't seen it, so the view of it is it's gone out for a corner because the defender's got the ball when he clearly hasn't. But in that instance, VAR have got to say he didn't touch the ball, so it's like you say, goal kick or penalty.
Exactly.
And the referee couldn't see from where he was standing. He was blocked out by 2 or 3 players.
Yeah.
Why he gave the corner in the first place, I don't know.
Because he thought it deflected out from. But,
this is what VAR were doing.
See, could he? He couldn't actually see anything.
No.
And then the VAR should have kind of said, but yeah, there was a shirt pulling. He tried to foul him once. He fouled him. Eventually, did foul him. Never played the ball at any stage of it. Absolute blatant penalty. And I don't know. I thought Chelsea abandoned kind of spending money, but they must have spent the money on these officials way before this conflict started. That's
why they've got no money left now.
Yeah, probably. But there you are.
At the end of the season now, they've only got enough for 2 weeks. So where's that gone?
But with VAR, checking club badge, it's a Newcastle badge. It's not a penalty. It's as simple as that. But again, as we mentioned about Eddie Howe's tactics, the press seemed to stop happening. The later the game was going on, Chelsea were coming on to us, and it was it's one of those things in football, isn't it? The rub of the green goes against you, and then the player who shouldn't have been on the pitch ends up scoring the winner. It was a great ball over the top. Dan Burn, bit flat-footed, unfortunately, but he was my man of the match, and he still is, even though that happened, because he cleaned up so many times for us. And when the ball dropped and he took it down like he did, there was only one outcome. It was going in the back of the net because Dubravka had no chance to react to the shot. It was past him, and Hertha wins it in the 88th minute. And we just didn't deserve that, Billy, at all. Didn't deserve it.
We ran out of steam. Let's be honest. We couldn't press that for that long. We ran out of steam, and Burn's only mistake of the match was that goal. Apart from that, he was absolutely outstanding. I thought Fabian Schär was outstanding. I thought Jamal Lascelles was pretty good as well. He made one mistake also for the Havertz header in the first chance he had that went straight to Dubravka. But the actual goal itself, it was absolute quality of the touch. It reminded me of Suarez against Colaccini all those years ago at Anfield. Just an absolute sublime touch. I thought Dubravka should have come out quicker actually, and maybe got there before Havertz, but.
Possibly. It was so quick though, wasn't it? It
was a quality touch from someone that shouldn't have been on the fucking pitch. That's all there is to it.
Nail on the head, Billy.
Yeah. What about you, John? What did you make of the goal?
Yeah, it was simply a moment of quality, wasn't it? I think from our point of view, from 70th minute, we was gassing. Longstaff, Bruno, Miggy, Char, even and to an extent Burn. I think we had quite a few players that were really, they'd given everything. I mean, the press pretty much for 70 minutes. The whole team had pressed for 70 minutes. Even the defenders were pressing. Char was pressing, and you can only play that style for consistently for, like say, 70, 75 minutes, which is why we saw it stop. And the issue was we didn't take our chances. We didn't get the penalty, and Chelsea have always got that in the locker, haven't they?
Unfortunately, it's that one quality moment which unlocks us. But again, it would have been a point because had we put that penalty away, if it was given, it would have been a draw. But the hindsight, though, isn't it?
I think if we'd have got the penalty, we'd have gone ultra defensive,
won it,
and wouldn't have been pressing at all. So we might have had a bit more energy left. But yeah,
potentially, it's just hindsight, isn't it, Billy?
Yeah, because if we'd have scored the penalty that wasn't given, then they'd have come at us. We could have hit them on a break and maybe scored 2 or 3.
Yeah,
who knows?
Like they nearly did with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a little bit worried it was going to be 2-0 at the end there, Ian. Obviously, because we were trying our best to get up the pitch, but I just felt
by that point, I think I agree with we were gone by then anyway. So the goal was like that first touch was unbelievable, and that's pure quality. And like Billy says, he shouldn't have been on the pitch. Who played the ball? I can't remember who it was now.
Jorginho.
Yeah,
I think it's Jorginho.
Yeah, of
Great
course
ball.
he did. It was a fucking brilliant ball.
He was a right little whinged twat through the whole game. As
Yeah,
well,
he was.
wasn't he, Jorginho?
He was. They all were.
Well, they all were.
But
Mount, Kovacic, when he came on, they were all trying to ref the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of shit houses, wasn't there? But I thought, like, I can't remember who said it, but somebody mentioned, I think it was you actually, Baz, said, after 70 minutes, everybody, or the majority of the team, they all gassed. Like, but they wouldn't have gassed and they wouldn't have had to work so hard with playing against 10 men. Simple as that, So, again, we didn't get it. We've got to just chalk it off and get on with it. Like, you can't keep whinging about it. But, the game was ruined by the VAR as much as the officials, and more than the officials, actually, in my opinion. He wasn't even that bad, the ref, until he started making decisions, and then he just went to shit. So, after the elbow incident, he just seemed to completely lose it. And VAR are just not fit for purpose. The system works. It's the people actually running it that are useless. So yeah, I think I can honestly say I thought they played mint. I thought we played really well. I couldn't have said that we could have done anything different. It was just one of them things where we did run out of gas and we didn't get the rub of the green again, obviously. So
I agree.
We'll just beat the Scouts Mackhams.
Yes. Halfway through the show, so I'll quickly just pop this back up again. If you don't mind subscribing, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy what you see, help grow the channel as high as it can get. Please consider becoming a member. If you do become a member, you'll be entered into the amazing prize draw to win John Sinclair's famous seat at St James's Park for one game against Wolves. Me and Billy are going to be there. We're going to be meeting up with Paul, having a drink before the game, so you can come and meet us and have a drink on me as well. You can get the ticket off me and then hand it back to me after the game. I'm sure me and Billy will be having a few jars afterwards as well, so if you want to join us for that as well. It's going to be an amazing occasion. So if you become a member, you're in the draw, basically. It's as simple as that. And we'll do the draw on the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday before the game on the Friday. So it gives you plenty of time to make alternatives if you plans if you have to come up from outside the area. This is Yin's baby, the charity sports trader. We are trying to donate as much as we can for them. So one of the things before we go back into Toon Trader is obviously this is happening tomorrow night between 7:30 and 8:30. I'm going to put it out live. It is recorded, but I want to put it out live to give you all a chance to watch it with me and to donate to it as well. And the reason why is I told Rob Lee if it goes out live, we will donate 50% of all donations to Toon Trader and also to Alan Shearer's Foundation. So while that show is live, any donations made, 50% of them will be going to charity. And this was just an absolute. Oh no, you're welcome. And it was an absolute pleasure talking to Rob. He was amazing. I asked him if he wanted to have a look at the questions before we started, see if there was anything in there he wasn't happy with. He said, mate, ask me anything, I'll answer anything. And, what a sport he was. There wasn't any difficult questions in there, to be fair, but it was just all about him and Newcastle United, nothing else. A little bit about England. So please tune in tomorrow night between 7:30 and 8:30, and then some money will be going to these guys because you're close to open up the shop in the Northeast, aren't you, Ian?
Yeah, we've had some good news. On Friday, we got an email that we've been waiting for a while that basically puts us, well, it's like the basic terms agreed for the shop, so I can't really say much more than that, but basically it's over to get signatures off important people and get the solicitors to bore the tits off everyone for about 8 weeks, I guess. Gives us a bit of time to try and raise some money, to be honest, because we need some.
Brilliant.
We've had some really good meetings. Can I bore you for a minute?
Yeah, go for it quickly. So
we've been seeing the police, which is quite a strange thing to, definitely for Ricky, to not be actually, to not have had his, to not have been read his rights before speaking to him. We were invited in and given a cup of coffee, which was quite nice. We've been seeing the police. The police are really backing us, really getting behind us. They're going to give us, I hope, are going to give us some money to help us. And we're just waiting to hear back, and also lots of other things. We've spoke to what's his name? Can't remember his name, but we spoke to a guy who's linked with. I haven't got any notes in front of me because I didn't know what's coming on today. But we spoke to a guy who's got links into Newcastle United Foundation, Newcastle Building Society, and lots of other places. He's called something Robotham, I think he's called Robotham, and his Lord Robotham was his son or something like that. I think he used to be the chair of Newcastle Building Society. He's probably not going to be very happy, but if he hears this, but I doubt he will be watching. So, but he's going to help us get in with a lot of people, and yeah, hopefully Newcastle United will be doing something with us at some point. We've got a few people just sort of knocking away on their door. So yeah, all really good this week.
All positive.
We just need some money.
We need some money, which we're trying to do. We're trying our best.
That's brilliant. Can I say one other thing as well? We've got the we've got the Just Giving link, which is all over my Twitter. I keep putting it out there. If anybody can just have a look at it, it's pinned on ToonTrader at ToonTrader. Retweet it. If you can't afford to give us any money, no problem. If you don't want to, no problem. Mm-hmm. If you want to, anything, quid, whatever, it's great. It's all going obviously to getting sports equipment for disabled people in Newcastle and some around the northeast, but mainly Newcastle, and young kids who might be going down the wrong tracks. So we're trying to get them into clubs. We'll be developing club sports for the kids. Disabled people are getting wheelchairs converted. It's about $2,000, believe it or not, to convert a wheelchair for basketball. Yeah, it's massive. So all the profits go into that. We're not getting paid anything for doing this. We're just trying to get it up to Newcastle because we think that Newcastle needs it. So that's it. That's the end of it, mate.
Well done. Right, back to football. So one of the things I want to point out is obviously we were missing a lot of players today, but how well did they all fit into the system? How well drilled they were. And they all know that most of them could potentially be dropped for Thursday night, but they still came in and give absolutely everything today, Billy. Absolutely everything. So like Longstaff, like Miggy, they know that they're probably not going to see the starting 11. Bruno obviously has a chance of starting, but then again, it's hard to keep Shelby, Willock, and Joelinton out of that team if they're fully fit.
Yeah, I thought all those guys that came in, with the possible exception actually of Manquillo, I wasn't too impressed with him. I actually missed Kraft today because I'm not sure Manquillo actually wanted to come out in lights, but I thought Sean Longstaff was outstanding. I thought Miggy's endeavour was a sight to see. We're always going to get that from him, but he also did some good things with the ball at his feet too. I thought Murphy was much better today. Yeah. But the back five, really, apart from Manquillo, as I said, 4 of the 5 I thought were great. And my man of the match actually was Fabian Schär. I thought it was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, he was again. Target deliveries, like I mentioned on set pieces, in the second half especially, he was whipping them in corners, in dangerous areas. When he takes Schär off it and put him on it, we're dangerous. But what did you make of the whole...
I've been trying to criticise again, and it's kind of becoming a winning theme. I know he scored last game and that, but Chris Wood's hold-up play again was shocking.
Yeah, he didn't have the best game, did he? Which, again, he won quite a lot of flick-ons, and again, I was getting frustrated because there was nobody going beyond him. Yeah, which is frustrating because
we've been saying this a long time. We're not going to see the best of Chris Wood until we get someone winning beyond him. We don't play that system, so he becomes null and void. But when the ball gets to his chest or to his feet, I'd like to see him hold on to it a bit more and allow players to get close to him. But unfortunately, he didn't seem to have the control. Which is kind of worrying, but hopefully he'll get better as it goes on and we'll get back to scoring ways on Thursday.
Fingers crossed. What about you, John? What did you make of the guys coming in and literally just... I didn't really miss Joelinton today or Shelby because I was enjoying watching the 3 of them actually work their asses off and actually play good football at times.
I think we did miss the 2.
We did miss them, but we didn't miss them as much as we thought we would. We thought we were going to roll over and get beat 4-0.
But if you look at the stats, I mean, Chelsea had 584 completed passes. Ours was 220.
That doesn't change for us most of the time, though. Look at the Southampton game. They had 600 odd passes and we had 300, and we had most of our midfield then as well.
Wood, for instance, had 35% pass accuracy.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Wood. We're talking about the three in midfield. So I'm asking you the question is, how well did Sean Longstaff do, Bruno do, and the guys coming in and fitting in for those three that were missing? Forget about Wood. Talk about the midfield now. That's what I want to talk about.
Well,
so for me, I thought they were brilliant.
Played well. Bruno played well.
He was brilliant, yeah.
I think he's going to take some time adapting.
Yeah.
And I say he was gassed towards the end, but a solid 70, 75 minutes from him, 100%.
Oh, massively.
He made 4 tackles. That was the most tackles in the team, which shows you going forward and defending. He was all over. So for me, Bruno was it was good.
I thought Sean Longstaff was good as well. I honestly did.
He put effort in. He chased. The press. I mean, the thing that Howe's brought to the whole team is this press. We've never done it, and the whole team is buying into it. No matter who you put on the pitch, they all seem, apart from ASM maybe, they all seem to be involved in this pressing, and it does work. It's proved in 10 games how it works. So we were unlucky not to be unbeaten still today.
Well, a lot of people saying we are if it wasn't for the referees. So we're classing it as 10 unbeaten because we didn't lose today.
so I think Shaw has that sweeper position. It did well. He made 8 clearances, which again was more than anyone in the team and more than anyone on the pitch, which showed that stepping up, clearing the ball, that stepping up, breaking up play, that stepping up and giving the ball, that actually worked. Like you say, it wasn't really a 5 at the back. It was more of a 4 with a sweeper.
Weird one. It was weird. It was hard to work it out sometimes because it was interchanging all the time.
He wasn't a defensive midfielder as a normal defensive midfielder. Like I say, it's the old school sweeper. He was sat in the back 5 but came forward and brought the ball out. So yeah, I mean, I say Longstaff for me, he put an effort in. Same with Biggie, the effort was there. It always is there for me. Passing wise, Longstaff was off a little bit for me, but it's. I mean, how many starts has he had since Howe came in? I mean,
not many.
He's a lot better than he was when he was with Bruce the back end of the season. There's improvement there for sure, but I think we did miss Joe Linton or Shelby with Bruno. To be fair, or Willock as well. Yeah, or any of the 3.
And then there's Fraser missing as well, and then.
And we didn't have the options on the bench for me. I think 70 minutes.
We had 2 goalkeepers on the bench, didn't we? So that tells you everything.
70 minutes, they were gassed, and we didn't have anyone to put them on. I think if Longstaff had come off after 75 minutes and we'd have been praising how good Longstaff was and how well he played. So
yeah. And considering how Bruno gassed after 65 minutes against Southampton, he did well to see the whole 90 minutes, didn't he?
Really, 5 minutes this time,
yeah. But Ian, what did you make of the 3 in midfield, particularly who came in? Because again, I mean, it's a hard ask to go to Stamford Bridge and say, right, you 3 are playing. I know you haven't played together at all, but we're throwing you into it, and this is how we want you to play. This is how I want you to execute it, and they were brilliant. I thought personally.
Yeah, I thought they did it as much as you could expect them to do, and a bit more. Like the effort was amazing. Like you said, the press was great. I thought Longstaff did well. I think at one point I said to my father-in-law, fucking hell, Longstaff's doing all right. And then he misplaced a pass. I was like, I'm just going to keep him out shut. Yeah, exactly. But I do, I know, I'm sure everybody thinks the same, but I do think, if we could have Bruno with like Joe next to him, not Joe Willock, Joe Linton, I think that, I think that's going to bring the best out in Bruno, definitely. Like having a bit of protection because he was getting out muscle because there wasn't much protection around him for me anyway. Longstaff did his best and he was good, and Miggy did well as well. But I think get J7 next to him, and I would put Willock in and just have Willock making runs forward because he'll find him all day. Bruno will find him all day. For me, next game, but we'll have to see whether Bruno can actually play in the next game after what he's done tonight, because he might actually be too knackered. Never mind whether he's selected or not. So, I thought the 3 in midfield were really good today.
Yeah, really good. There's one chance that we did miss, and I forgot about, was again another great ball in. It was in the first half from target, and it's Wood got a tiny touch on it, but someone else, and I think it was Byrne, took it off his head and it went wide. Had
Shaw
Byrne not have touched that, was it Shaw who touched it?
Shaw took it off his, yeah.
Yeah.
If he hadn't that touch, it'd be fell on him beautifully. But yeah,
it would have fell on him just as well as the goal did against the lads on Thursday night.
Right.
You would have been against Southampton
Southampton,
when Wood smashed it home. I think if had Shaw not touched that, I think Wood would have scored that. Personally, I think he was in the right place. He had the flight of the ball. He knew what he was doing, and that little touch just directed it and skimmed his forehead instead of hitting it properly. And I honestly think that would have been 1-0 at that point as well. Just so unlucky. Just those fractions, those little half fractions that just didn't go our way. It was so annoying. Yes, Clattenburg and also Hackett on Twitter have been absolutely hammering the referees recently. Daniil thinks it's very suspicious, but we've seen this with the top 6 in VAR. It's just been shocking. Saw a comment from a Chelsea fan today suggesting we deserve to lose because of our fouling, diving and time wasting. You must have forgot to watch his own sacks of shite crying.
Fucking right. And whoever that was, I can't see on my phone, but that's 100% believing that.
Yeah, exactly. I think they forgot all about the time wasting they were doing. What was Rudiger doing in the second half, by the way, when he did that little trotting thing? What the hell was all that about? I
thought he shit himself at that point. He was trying to get it out of his shorts.
I thought his hamstring popped or something, and he reacted in a strange way or something. What an idiot!
He had a great game, though, didn't he?
I'd still sign him.
Do you know what it is though? Before at the start of the game, I was actually saying again to my father-in-law, I was saying he's going to sign for us at the end of the season, like he was on a free and that. And after about 20 minutes of the game, I went, I hope that fucking prick doesn't sign for us. He's right bell end. At the end of the season, but if he does sign, I'll be like, fucking come on.
The quality player.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, he is. Good. If we can sign him, it'll be unbelievable. But I think he'll end up in Real Madrid, to be honest with you.
Probably where he belongs, mate.
Enjoy, Julie. Yeah, probably. So everyone's saying bye to Julie. Let's have a look at what else is in here. The days of going to top away clubs are getting easier. I just thought it was so unlucky.
Did anyone see that sandwich that was kind of totally ignored by the referee?
Yes, on ASM.
Now and totally sandwiched out of it. Definite free kick, play on. I thought, forget it.
Exactly.
Was that the ASM one or the Bruno one? Because there was two, wasn't
there? ASM one was the worst.
I think the ASM was the worst, wasn't it? They just totally sandwiched him, took him off the ball, totally. Play on.
Didn't even give a foul, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Inside notes.
And there was a commentator's curse as well in the match, wasn't there? The commentator saying how great Mason Mount's delivery was. Took a free kick straight out.
Yeah, flew right out and went out for a goal kick.
He was by the way, Mason Mount. Absolutely shite.
He was terrible. I thought he'd scored, to be honest with you, with that free kick. That was quite dangerous.
It's because Dubravka dived, didn't he? And that threw everybody up. So.
But I think if it was on target, I don't think Dubravka would have saved it. Because he was diving back into the net. I think if that was on target, I think he was screwed. Thanks, Daniil. Got absolutely robbed today. They should have had a red card and definite penalty, but a great performance from the boys. So proud of them. They should hold their heads high. Definitely. Absolutely. Plus, what made me more angry was Jamie Carragher. Oh, he was doing my head in, Jamie Carragher. Rob Laytoon legend. Yes, he is. How many times is Maxi going to sit on the ground and sulk before he gets up? Hal will get bored of that eventually. But until we actually get more quality in around him, he is the quality we've got, though. So I didn't say Maxi was good. I didn't say Maxi was bad. What I was trying to say was I felt sorry for Maxi when he came on because we didn't really get the ball to his feet quick enough. There was a couple of little chances down that left-hand side when Wood actually held the ball up quite well, but tried to flick around the corner. It didn't quite work. He tried to pass inside. And it didn't really work for him today, but he was asked to do a lot in a short period of time and with not a lot of the ball, and that's not how Maxi played. So it wasn't the game for him, was it? Hi all, evening all. Some late. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's all.
It would have suited Maxi more had we been 1-up.
Yes.
Because then they'd have had to come out and he'd have been kind of free to do what he likes, but at 0-0, he still needed a bit of discipline in the side.
Yeah.
1-up with 10 men would have been even better, Billy.
Well,
exactly, 1 10 men, and then ASM would have run riot, wouldn't he? I missed Joe Linton. Jesus, no one ever thought we would have said that 6 months ago, would we?
No.
I said today that we could play Chelsea next week and they could have a full new 11. We'll bring it all out. We were so many players missing today. I don't.
Do you know who the biggest tosser was? Ziyech.
Yes.
Absolute wanker all over the game. Kicked Bruno in the face. Did about 20 more. He got booked for that. Did about 20 more fouls. Not another word to him.
Yeah. I remember that Miggy effort because I thought that was in when De Gea pulled off one of the saves of the season with his one-handed tip around the post. The twat. There's the link to become a member. I have pinned it at the top. So if you want to be in the draw for the ticket for the Wolves game, you need to click on that link and become a member for 99p or 1.99 or 2.99. And obviously, we thank you very much if you do decide to do that. We have a 25-man squad, and whoever Ed plays, we have a chance. I think he has been proven today. We have a 30-man squad, but we've got a lot of injuries, and we had 2 goalkeepers on the bench, which didn't help at all. I think we're expecting a clatter tackle by no one near him, though, Bellend. I don't know which one that one's about. High boot on Bruno, too. Yeah, there was a high boot on his head, wasn't there? Right outside the penalty area. Yeah. And then he was complaining about that as well, wasn't he? He's like,
yeah, he did, yeah.
The one thing I felt sorry for Ziyech in a way is that he did actually win the ball, but you can't put your foot that high. If someone's going in for a header, you can't have your foot that high. It's just the rules of the game, so why do it? But he did win the ball quite clearly, but he took his head as well at the same time. Maxi, Bruno and J7 would be nice. You can't play them in a free in the centre of midfield. Maxi always has to be higher. I'd be worried if it was Maxi, Bruno, and J7 in a midfield free. Yes, he did get kicked in the face. Don't get me started on this game. As a neutral, Newcastle robbed. Well said. That's what we like to hear. Other people will agree with us because it gets a bit boring us trying to defend ourselves all the time, doesn't it, John? Because every single time we're like, well, we were robbed, and everyone's like, well, you're Newcastle. But
the point of being Newcastle fans is we are fucking fairly used to being shit, right? Like we've had on and off pretty much 14 years of it. So, and we've also quite critical of ourselves when we don't play well. We don't mess around. The way I looked at today's game is, if it was the other team that happened to with the penalty, would they have got a penalty? Yes, without a doubt, they would have got a penalty. Yeah. If that elbow was from Joe Linton on one of their players,
or Shelby definitely,
or Shelby on one of their players, would it have been a red card? Yeah, or any player, like and there's nobody can deny that. Well, unless they're stupid, or biased. So we're not like, I don't think we're being over the top about it. There's something fucking wrong with the game when VAR's not picking up on that. It's pointless.
Yeah, I agree. That was great, though. The fans chanting Mike Ashley's coming for you, even though he couldn't afford Chelsea, to be fair. Do you think we'll get top 10? I personally say no. And when top 10 was never a target, it was just staying up. John, do you think we could get top 10 with our running?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think we've got 3 very winnable games coming up. Norwich, Palace and Everton. And that keeps us safe, and that's it. That's the bottom line for me. That 40 points. We won't need 40 points, but
I think 35 keeps you up, doesn't it? Roughly. The way the results
Watford won today. Leeds won today, didn't they? The ones that are deep in the shit now, Everton, aren't they? Yeah. Everton. If we beat Everton on Thursday, they're deep in the shit.
I think that's a good relegation zone. Yeah.
I think it's between Everton and Burnley now after those 2 wins for the other clubs. I really do.
I think they both might go.
Watford
seems to have shown a bit of fight.
Yeah, it's for one game though.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Watford.
A few games before that, and then went back to normal. So we'll see with Watford.
How many games are left? That's a good question. I'm not sure how many games are left. There's not that many though, is there?
It's 9 and 10 depending on games in hand.
Yeah. So there you are. 10 depends on when the players come back. There we go. The job Eddie Howe has done is impressive. It's really impressive when you think we were second bottom in the league and everyone had us down. And now we're 9 points clear of it. Large predictions for St. Patrick's Day match against Everton. Let's do a quick flick around because it's nearly past. Billy, what do you think is going to happen on Thursday night?
I'll predict a full strength Newcastle side as much as possible. Joe Linton, Shelby, Willock all coming back in, and I'll predict a 2-0 victory for Newcastle.
I I like it. John?
Yeah, it's the same. Fraser, ASM, I think they'll both come back. The three will come back. Willock, Joelinton. I don't know about Bruno and Shelby. I think it'll be one or the other. I do think Bruno's probably warranted playing the next game, in fairness, in his last 2 games. But I think 2-0. 2-0 Newcastle, I think we'll beat them.
Yeah. Ian?
I think the same. I think Shelby's going to miss out. I think Bruno should definitely stay in for me. That's my personal thought.
Harsh call though, isn't it? Because
I know it's harsh.
Brilliant.
I know. But the reality is, we've got to think he has got more quality. He's got more to offer. For me, he's got more legs. He is better on the ball, and he can pass the ball. He's a great passer of the ball as well as Shelby is. Shelby's great for the Hollywood ball, and he has been amazing in comparison. I would have never, 6-8 months ago, I couldn't have seen him being as good as he is, and I'm fucking loving him at the moment. But if it comes down to, you got to take everything else out of it and think, who's the better footballer and who's going to give more to the team? And for me, it's Bruno. End of story. So if he's fit to play. Shelby can always come on at the end, and take him off and whatever. And I think I'm going to go with my usual prediction of 3-1 because I'm sticking to. Because I'm not classing today as a defeat. I'm classing today as just null and void. So 3-1. Yeah. Because I said 3-1 when our run started. So, and I've said it every week after.
Yes, the Palace game was postponed because they're in the FA Cup. So it'll be rearranged, but it hasn't been rearranged yet. 3-0 Newcastle will love to us. So batter them again. Yep. Always international break after the Everton game. International breaks after the Everton game, yes. They're going to be flying out to either Dubai or Saudi Arabia for some warm weather training again, which they fully deserve on the performances they put in. They've took all our worries away, even with Trippier being injured. And then you got all the injuries today. We've still managed to keep winning games and drawing games, and we were so unlucky.
It worked last time as well, didn't it?
It did. It worked really well. And then the simple fact is, as well, you get over injuries faster when you're in a warmer climate as well, because your body heals a lot faster. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to go, will Everton score? The way we're defending, I don't think Everton have got enough to get past us. So I'm going to go 2 or 3-0. I'm quite confident we're going to beat the Scouse Mackhams.
I hope so,
I know, me too. Frank will be setting up to stop ASM, but Big Ed will throw another surprise and bench him. Yeah, he could do. You have to ask the question, though. Has Murphy done enough to... But last question for you guys, very, very quickly. Billy, has Murphy done enough to keep ASM on the bench?
No, not in my opinion.
No way.
No. Oh, well, that was quick from Ian. What about you, John?
Yeah, no. I think he was our poorest player today, unfortunately.
I'm thinking more of a solidness when it comes to the high press, the defending side of things, and all that sort of stuff. We look a solid team when ASM's not in it, and then when he does come on, everyone started complaining to say that he didn't do enough. So that's why I asked the question, because it's an interesting one, isn't it?
You just got to go back 3 or 4 weeks to when we played him at home and what he did from there. There's no way he sits on the bench against them at Gibson Park. Absolutely no way whatsoever.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He does the pressing. But it's the end product for me.
That's exactly it. Murphy's done really well, and again, it's one of them where it's a bit tight and it dropping him. But at the end of the day, anybody that really is looking at who you'd rather have on, you've got to say ASM every time, haven't you?
Yeah.
We'll make up for him because Joe Linton will be on covering up for his fucking rolling around on the floor like a tosser
and target behind him.
I love it.
Exactly.
Right, that's the end of the show. Brilliant show. Thank you very much for coming on, everyone. Very quickly, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell button, thumbs up button, share it with everyone. Let them know about the channel. There is an option to become a member. It's linked in the chat. If you become a member, you're in the draw for that ticket for the Wolves game. And please watch tomorrow night at 7:30. We're going to be donating 50% of everything that's made from the channel on that night to Toon Trader and also Alan Shearer Foundation. A great interview with Rob Lee. What an honor it was to meet him. So please consider watching that and donating as much as you can, because it'll be great for the guys to get the shop open, and also great for Alan Shearer as well, of course. Jump over to Toon Review because they're doing their show now. But it's been a pleasure talking to you guys for an hour about football. So to Billy, to Ian, to John, thank you very much. And we will see you tomorrow night at 7:30 again. Take care till then.